This is an ABC News special report. Now reporting, George Stephanopoulos.
Good afternoon. We're coming back on the air because President-elect Donald Trump has just met on Capitol Hill with the Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, along with his Vice President-elect Mike Pence and their wives. They went up for lunch with the Speaker and then had a short meeting in his Capitol Hill office. Let's take a look.
So let me just, we're not going to do a press conference here. Let me just say how excited we are about these opportunities for the country. We had a fantastic, productive meeting about getting to work, rolling up our sleeves, and going to work for the American people. Donald Trump had one of the most impressive victories we've ever seen, and we're going to turn that victory into progress for the American people. And we are now talking about how we're going to hit the ground running to make sure that we can get this country turned around and make America great again.
Well, thank you very much, and Mr. Speaker, it's been an honor. We had a meeting, met with the President, as you know, before. That was an excellent meeting. We just spent quite a bit of time together. I think we're going to do some absolutely spectacular things for the American people. We look forward to starting. In fact, truthfully, we can't get started fast enough. And whether it's health care or immigration, so many different things. We'll be working on them very rapidly, and I think we'll be putting things up pretty quickly. So we had a very good meeting, a very detailed meeting, and we're going to lower taxes, as you know, and we're going to fix health care and make it more affordable and better. And we're going to do a real job for the public, and that's what we want to do, and that's why we're excited.
Thank you.
How does it feel to be in D.C.? How does it feel to be in Washington, the first day as president-elect?
Thanks, guys.
So there you have it. Quick meeting before the press are going to go into the Speaker's ceremonial office right now. We might see them on the balcony in just a minute. We're going to go to our congressional correspondent, Mary Bruce, who was just outside of the hallway, threw a question at Mr. Trump on his way in there. We see them on the balcony taking a look at the grounds. And Mary, we did hear some specifics there from Mr. Trump saying he wants to hit the ground running. The Speaker said that on big issues like health care, lowering taxes, and immigration.
Absolutely, George. This entire afternoon has been about consolidating the relationship between the president-elect and leaders of Congress, Republican leaders here on the Hill. After a bit of a rocky relationship between the House Speaker and Donald Trump during the campaign, now they are trying to come together. They were just meeting, as you heard them mention, some of the priorities that they're hoping to work on together. They're trying to get their legislative agendas in sync here. There are many areas where they can work together. That top priority to try and Obamacare is one of those things where there is widespread agreement, but some of those other issues, Donald Trump's priorities on immigration, on trade, those are some things that may take a little bit more hammering out up here on Capitol Hill. George.
Okay, Mary Bruce, thanks very much. I want to go back to John Karl at the White House, who was, of course, at that meeting between the president and President-elect Donald Trump. He's also just had a briefing from the White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest. And John, when you put these two meetings together, Donald Trump says he had an excellent meeting with the president. The president said the same thing. Also said he had a very good meeting with Speaker Ryan, laid out some items on what they want to do very quickly: health care, lowering taxes, immigration. In each one of those cases, that would be undoing accomplishments that President Obama sees as his own. So how do we square these two?
It's going to be hard to square these two, but the tone for the day is certainly one of reconciliation. Remember, this is reconciliation not just between Donald Trump and President Obama, but also Donald Trump and Paul Ryan. You know, that was something we have actually never seen before. Paul Ryan has met with Donald Trump, but we've never seen images of the two of them together. It's always been meeting in private, and it struck me to hear Paul Ryan utter the words, "Make America Great Again." He said, we need to turn the country around and make America great again, adopting the slogan of Donald Trump. But there's no question that at least from the start, the top priorities for Republicans, both for Donald Trump and for Republicans in Congress, are essentially to undo many of the big items of the Obama legacy.
And to add to the complexity of all this, John, I heard you in the briefing there with Josh Earnest, the White House press secretary. You asked him about the comments that President Obama made on the campaign trail as recently as Monday, where he called Donald Trump uniquely unqualified for the office, and Josh Earnest says he stands by those comments.
Yeah. So at the same time, he said success for Donald Trump is success for the country and how he is determined to ensure a successful, peaceful, orderly transition. But he made it very clear that the president stands by what he said during the campaign. Those comments that the president made were Monday, George. Monday, he called Donald Trump temperamentally unfit and uniquely unqualified to be commander-in-chief.
But the images today, images of conciliation and continuity. John Karl, Mary Bruce, thank you both very much. We'll have much more tonight on World News Tonight with David Muir. Have a good day.
This has been a special report from ABC News.